Hello everyone, it's John and it's time for a waffle with the... Oh dear, he's not happy with me. Alright, you may go back down to... Now, don't go barking again, please. Okay, you promise? Okay. Yes, whether or not he does or not. I've been trying to do some videos today and he has been a very vocal boy. Yes, very vocal. Very vocal indeed. So what's my waffle about today? Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. I like how they like to call themselves our ABC, but I don't think they're our ABC. I think they're just a certain section's ABC. But they had an article that they popped up on that I saw pop up on my social media feed, or actually when I went on to through my tablet. Yes, my tablet came up and I went, oh, hello, what's this? And was written, the title of it was Judge My Unpopular Opinion. Board game nights are the absolute worst. And this was on ABC every day. Well, what can I say? The author demonstrates to me their credentials to be as exemplary as the ABC is with mainstream Australians. Yes, that's my opinion. I'd suggest people go have a look at it and make up their own minds. It's an opinion piece, and of course people are entitled to their opinions. And however, I don't particularly like being preached to. And I don't particularly like it when somebody in their opening paragraph, or it might be the paragraph after, it might be the second paragraph. But anyway, they say, make a statement about an entire cupboard dedicated to board games, as if that's an acceptable way to spend money. Does anybody have a right to say how people should spend their money? Is it? Would I say to anybody else and say, oh look, I think it's unacceptable that you have a cupboard full of shoes, or a cupboard full of designer handbags? After all, you really only need one pair of shoes, you only need one handbag. Do you need multiples? You know, look, it is ridiculous. So to really cast aspersions on what people decide to spend their money on is really, I think, a hypocritical point of view. And the whole tone is sort of very, very unacceptable to me, as to, you know, a waste of time. You know, they're talking about the business of, if you want to socialise with people, you don't have to have them around to play a game. Well, look, I'm dreadfully sorry, but you can do both. I do. That's one of the things I love about playing games, is that I can socialise at the same time. Clearly this person knows nothing about board games, but anyway. So that was an interesting, yes, something to get the blood pumping. Well, not that I've got any blood to pump around this cadaverous corpse anyway, but I thought, yes, interesting, and I posted it up. And as usual, most people left it alone because it's the ABC, and you don't touch the sacred cow, do you? No. But that's okay. I'm just a grumpy old man. Or should I say, I'm a grumpy old white man. So, but anyway, what else was there? Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed that one of the board game community has put up a thing. I think he's called it "Swear an Oath," where they've listed, you know, this is my oath. I'm going to complete this year. And to me, I find it very interesting. For me, an oath is something that is very it's something that's sacred, it's something that's important, and that if you break your oath, there are consequences for not having fulfilled it. You know, there's a reason why we have what we call oath breakers, and why they are always looked at with great scorn and contempt. So I'm just wondering whether or not, I think some people do not quite understand what the concept of the word oath means, and that they should perhaps go have a look at the English language again and perhaps choose a better word. But again, maybe it's I'm not keeping up with the times. Maybe the world is reinterpreting the English language like it has a tendency to do, to appease people. But anyway, I'm continuing to read more and more entertaining books. I found a new author called Edward Marston, and there are two sets of books. The first one that got me was the Doomsday books. And the first one I'm listening to at the moment is called... good question. What's the first one called? I can't remember what the first one is called. Because I haven't got it written down, and it's all sitting on my phone, which is currently looking at me. Aren't I a silly goose? Anyway, the first book is really quite good. What am I talking about? There'll be a picture of it up here. Don't worry about me. I keep forgetting that I've got a new video packaging production, so I can actually do things now that I couldn't do before. But yeah, so the Doomsday book introduces two main characters here, which is Ralph Delchard and Gervais Brett, and it's looking like it's a fairly decent book at this stage. So again, they seem to be around the time of William the Conqueror and just a little bit further along. So it's for the period that I'm currently paying attention to. So that's his first one. And then when I looked at it, because I just about finished it, it came up and said, oh, you know, the author of The Railway Detective. And I went, Railway Detective? What's this? So I've got the first book is called The Railway Detective, but the series is called the Railway Detective series, and it covers the two characters in it. Here is Detective Inspector Robert Colbeck and Sergeant Victor Leeming. And I've listened to the very first episode, and it all seems to revolve around railways. So it's the first book was quite good. So I had actually finished and listened to that one because I just wanted a break from my historicals. So I decided, set during the 1940s, going on 1950s, I think. Crystal Palace, I think, had just been built, and at the end of book one, the inspector gets a pair of tickets to go from Prince Albert. So I'd have to go have a look at when, I can't remember when Prince Albert passes on, but yeah, so for the opening of the Crystal Palace. So it is fairly decent. I didn't mind it. It's a fairly decent read, or in my case, listen to. Now, another book that I stumbled across was from an author called Joel Spriggs. And the title caught me because it was called Another Dead Intern. And it just had me laughing. It really was. It's called the Hemlock Connell series. Preternatural investigator Hemlock Connell. And you find out that... I won't say any more, but because you'll find that out during the book. And her partner or intern is Morgan Burns. But you find out that Hemlock is the daughter of the Queen of the Autumn Court of the Fae, and she's been sentenced to earth for 13 years for having done something very inappropriate to one of the members of the court who fell in love with a pine tree. Yes, you need to have a very mature sense of humour to enjoy this book. So need I say more? But look, I found it rather witty, macabre, but nevertheless a good read. And I actually just found today there's a second book, but it's a really short one called The Little Drummer Boy, and it's only, oh God, how long was it? Only I think less than 100 pages, or it might just be over 100 pages, but it was only an hour and 20 minutes or something audio. So I devoured that today, and that was quite good actually. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So the Little Drummer Boy, or The Little Drummer Boy. Okay, it'll be up there somewhere. So yeah. So look, that has been what I have been up to for my bit of waffle, and His Lordship's gone to sleep. Nobody's driven past, nobody's made any noise. I'm hopefully Sunday my friend Paul will come collect his big black Alsatian, and I'll have my little man will be less stressful, and that. But oh dear, I live near a before I end, I live near a showground, and they've set up a testing facility there. And can I just say that the traffic insanity in my area is just bonkers. I've people going up main roads in all directions. I have a friend of mine who has to get tested before he can go back to work, and I think this is his third day he's attempted to get there, and yeah, but this is it, you know, probably by the time he gets there he's probably going to test negative, which means that who knows, it's, you know, where does he then stand with his employer if he's come back with a, you know, with a negative result, because then, you know, he's been off on sick leave, yet may very well have been COVID positive perhaps at the beginning of the period, but not by the time he gets tested when he's had to turn up. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just ridiculous that it's taking this long, and of course we're heading towards an election year this year, so our political masters are milking this for every penny that they can, which is disgusting. So we don't really care about the people, we're just caring about making the best political mileage that we can out of it. So anyway, look, yes, I knew he'd start up again. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and he's going to hop up. You going to say goodbye? He says, no, Dad. He says, I'm going to tear off and have a bark at somebody. So till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.